Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Trap on the Boomer Bust channel, a Bears podcast by a Bears fan. I'm your host, Terry, and today we're talking about the Bears recap. I apologize for the delay in getting this, but, stuff happens. So, the Bears played Sunday night against the Green Bay Packers, and, all in all, it was pretty much what we talked about during the offseason. As much as I think this team has a little more to it than I expected, I still don't see them as, a great roster. And that is what it is. And a lot of things that we already knew about as weaknesses showed up on Sunday night. Now, I've talked last week kind of about the Bears, but the league in general. And I talk about the same thing every year. Like, I don't know why people go crazy over 1 week, but they do. So to sit here and think that Aaron Rodgers and the Packers was going to be anything than what they've been before, minus, the explosion to Davante Adams, you got to be silly. If you give Aaron Rodgers time, he's going to do his thing. And then they got Jenkins back on the line. And he's not fully 100%, but, that still helps. And they just got those backs involved. And, so overall, we saw those areas that were issue. Our defensive line, especially the interior. Now, don't get me wrong. They made some plays. They got off some blocks, made some plays in the backfield, It wasn't like they were completely dominated. But, through the course of 4 quarters, their offensive line beat our defensive line, and they were able to open up holes, not just up the gut, but a lot of times horizontal with their zone and getting to the edge with Aaron Jones. And then you got Dillon coming up the middle behind him. So that was one area that we know we have to improve on. I mean, as good as Justin Jones and Blackson might be, as, within their own game, they're not high quality top, interior D linemen. And Gibson, he got some pressure. He did some things that looked pretty good. We know Robert Quinn is still, he's still at the end of his rope. He's not like, a premier young pass rusher. So, we know what we have in them, and it's solid, but we aren't going to have that consistent pass rush, or we're not going to have that guy that is going to completely wreck a game like some of these, elite guys are. And not to say that it's elite or nothing, but, we want to try to work towards getting one of those people. So the defensive line, especially the interior, is one area we know that wasn't super great. And I think that kind of showed up. And I mean, with the secondary, we got, the 2 young guys. They're solid. I don't think Aaron Rodgers completely torched us, but they got young receivers over there. They played mostly with the veterans, but Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to do his thing. So, I think we're okay. On the other side of the ball, the offensive line, not giving, Justin Fields enough time consistently to throw, and then B, the receivers, they're not those top flight receivers. Like, as much as people wanted to sit here and try to hype them up, they're not that. Because here's going to be the hard part. When you have a passing game that's lacking, what you need, and you can see what Davante Adams, even though Aaron Rodgers is a little different because he's a high-level quarterback, but you see what Davante Adams did, you see what Tyreek Hill was able to do. What you need is a guy that either A, can consistently beat coverage one-on-one, because Justin Jefferson showed us last night that some corners in the NFL still can cover. Or B, you need a guy that can take the attention from the defense with their speed. We don't have either one of those. While Mooney is fast, there's a lot of fast people, but we're talking about, coverage burners, and we don't really have that. And so when you don't have that number one receiving option, the coverage is going to be able to spread and sit on stuff, especially when the pocket is collapsing around the quarterback quickly. It's going to make for conditions where you're not going to be able to pass the ball that well. On top of that, Justin Fields so far starting to feel like Trubisky to me. Not as far as his overall game, but as far as him staring down the field and not processing it fast enough. And it's not like he has to have right now. Like, if you've been watching football, it's been real good this season so far. You look at Josh Allen. And I've talked about his transformation before, but you look at Josh Allen now and you just see a different level of understanding. Whether it's him being in this system for 3 or so years now, or whether it's him really understanding coverage now, or a combination of it all, you can see. Jalen Hurts, you even see a little bit of that with him last night. Like, you can see when a quarterback is now understanding their options. And right now, and I've been looked at, all 22. I can see some plays, but you know how bad it is on NFL Plus. So it's very possible the receivers just aren't open, and that happened to Trubisky too. But there were times where he did have reads, and he just didn't see them. And right now, the way Justin Fields holding on to the ball feels like that to me. And, that's not uncommon. We seeing it with Joe Burrow. We seeing it with a couple other quarterbacks that people like. They're holding on to the ball too, and it's usually because you're not, reading it. And you do need to read it to win games consistently. But I think right now, for confidence purposes, Getsy needs to be a little more creative. Number one, he needs to be more creative with how we help out with the pass rush. And number two, we need to Dave Montgomery's a beast. He really is. He's going to do his thing, but we still need to be able to, with that running ability, with that threat, we need to be able to do certain things off of that and certain routes. To me, I think, obviously not last night, but the Vikings, what you saw with the Vikings, what you kind of saw with the Rams, kind of with the old Shanahans, a lot of this horizontal offense. And I think that's what we need. I mean, honestly, I don't know about taking shots vertical one-on-one or into double coverage. I don't know about trying to, run stops on people and outs and all that. I think what you need is misdirection, play action, horizontal crossers, all that easy stuff, the drags, all those things that are going to get him some easy targets moving across the field. Because it's a lot harder for defenders to cover you across the field than it is down the field. And I think that's what we need to incorporate more into the offense. So all those weak areas that we known coming in, they showed up on Sunday night. And no, I don't think the Packers are as strong as they were last year, obviously, but they're still a pretty good team. And I just, we'll play like the Houstons and the Jets, and even though the Jets went crazy, but we'll play teams like that I think we can compete against. But those higher caliber teams, I don't really think there's a shot of us, playing with them this year. And that's what I expected. So everything's on track in my eyes. I was going to say something. What was I going to say? I can't remember. But either way, that's what I was going to say. I really hate this rotation of Tevin Jenkins. Like, I don't get it. And it's not just because it's Tevin. Why are we rotating a guard? I really don't understand. And maybe that's on me. Maybe I need to search for some more articles, watch some interviews. But I don't know. I don't know even if they gave me an explanation, I don't think it makes sense. I've never seen this. Why are we rotating guards in the middle of the regular season? It makes no sense to me. And to me, there's no way that these two are getting hurt that frequently where both games they just been rotating like that. This is clearly like, and if it's true, that to me just says Ryan Poles is like, look, we're not winning this year. Let's just evaluate what we want going forward. Like, we're treating this like one long preseason. And I mean, shoot, that'd be right in line with what I said in the off season. So I wouldn't be shocked, but I just think I think it's stupid. I don't really like that. I'm trying to think if anything else. Defensively, Kyler Gordon was terrible. So the thing that you got to remember is that yes, you're a slot corner, and people are automatically going to think about, coverage, especially man coverage. The other part is you're also the run support as well. And so there was numerous times that Aaron Jones got off because Kyler Gordon either did not set the edge or set the force really and force it back in, or he came up and just completely missed the tackle multiple times. I like that he's triggering quickly. I like that he's seeing it. But, man, he was missing tackles all over the place. And he really let up some big runs. And then, of course, down the field, he got cooked a couple times by Sammy Watkins. So, Kyler Gordon did not look great that game. So I don't think he'll be bad or anything like that. I never thought of him as a slot corner coming out, and I never heard anyone talk about him as a slot corner. So it's interesting that that's what we choose to play him. So we'll continue to watch, but yeah, I don't know. It's tough with slot corners. They fall off real quick. Like, you hear about some of the top slot defenders and then, boom, it's gone. So it's hard to say what happened with that, but the real question is, will he become a starting caliber corner on the outside? And if he can't, I'm going to feel more iffy about the pick than I did when we first picked him, because he was not my favorite prospect. But if he never, it'd be one thing if he is just really good at slot, but if he's going to stay in the slot because he can't play outside, I'm going to have a real problem with that. So obviously, as we know, there's a lot to improve on, and we got to take our lumps this year. So that's just that's what it's going to be. So, all right, that's it for me. Go down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Share around, get the conversation started. Thumbs up, subscribe, and remember, stay up and bear down.